The man went broke after his company went bankrupt. He was so poor that he could only sneak bites of other people's leftovers. At that moment, the restaurant owner suddenly stopped him. Ron hurriedly begged the owner to let him finish the food, but the owner picked up the bowl and walked away. Just as Ron, feeling discouraged, was about to leave, the owner unexpectedly brought him a brand new bowl of food. It turned out that Annie, the restaurant owner, was a very kind person. She knew Ron must have been in trouble to resort to eating leftovers, so she brought him a fresh serving to eat. Ron was starving. He couldn't bother with politeness. He ended up eating 3 bowls in one go. Annie wasn't upset at all about how much he ate. Instead, she gently comforted Ron. After eating his fill, Ron promised he would repay Annie someday, but Annie shook her head. She said she never helped people for repayment. She only hoped Ron would pass this kindness on to others in the future. Ron took Annie's words to heart. 10 years flew by. The young man, who couldn't even afford a meal back then, had now transformed into the chairman of a well-known corporation. To repay the kindness Annie showed him back then, Ron set aside $3 billion, planning to purchase the entire commercial street where Annie's restaurant was located. But Ron's good intentions unexpectedly brought trouble to Annie. A ruthless businessman named Jack learned about the acquisition beforehand. To make a profit from the price gap, he sent thugs to forcibly buy out the other shops at low prices. Only Annie's shop refused to sell, because the shop was the only thing her grandfather had left her. She swore to protect it, and to help anyone in need. Ron wasn't the first person she had helped, and certainly wouldn't be the last. Jack refused to let the last remaining shop go, so he sent his thugs to frame Annie. They secretly put insects into a bowl of food, then accused Annie of serving unsanitary food. Annie tried her best to explain, but they arrogantly demanded $300,000 in emotional damages. Annie helplessly said she had no money, because the money she earned went not only to helping others, but also to supporting her parents and younger brother. She had absolutely no extra money, but that was exactly what the thugs were waiting for. They demanded that Annie use her shop to settle the debt. Annie refused decisively, so the thugs started smashing the place, and they broke the sign at the entrance. At that moment, Ron was on his way with his assistant to visit Annie. He wanted to tell her the good news in person, so he searched everywhere for her shop. He finally spotted a familiar figure. Ron was just about to approach and say hello when he realized it wasn't her. Helplessly, he continued searching for Annie's restaurant. Meanwhile, Annie begged them desperately, but the thugs demanded that she kneel and apologize. Annie was alone and helpless. She was just about to kneel when a man suddenly stopped them. It turned out to be Jack, the ruthless boss. Jack slapped one of the troublemakers hard, then gently helped Annie up. Annie was about to thank him, but overheard from Jack's conversation with the thugs that everything that happened today was orchestrated by Jack himself. His goal was to seize her shop, and Jack even lusted after Annie's beauty. He wanted Annie to become his mistress. Annie refused without hesitation, and she slapped Jack. Jack's expression changed instantly. He slapped Annie hard and dragged her inside the shop. Jack was preparing to assault Annie inside the shop to force her to agree to transfer the property. Annie struggled desperately, then begged him desperately, which only excited him even more. At this critical moment, someone finally burst in and stopped Jack.